As a coach, I get to see people at their very best and at their very worst. I get to see people who are really struggling, who are in the grip of crisis, who have really low self-esteem or low self-confidence, who have been stuck in repeated patterns for years, and who are just really, really frustrated about the situation they find themselves in. I also get to see people who are doing amazing things, who are making things happen in their lives, whose confidence is blooming, and who are sort of taking steps deeper and deeper into an understanding of themselves and all the freedom and power that gives them. One of the major differences that I've seen over the years between these two groups of people is their attitudes towards safety and risk. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. And I'm going to talk about the problem of safety, how humans interact with risk and change and adventure, and then what's kind of the ideal attitude to embrace to all this. So one of the great lies of our culture is that if you are safe and secure and you've got all the boxes ticked and everything kind of lined up, then everything will be okay. This is a real problem for a number of reasons. One is if you're stuck in a place in your life that isn't working for you, the fear of changing that and upsetting the apple cart and rocking the boat and changing things and making things happen is huge, because you will lose the safety that you already have. Another thing is that over time we become more and more convinced that we're not capable of handling change and risk and adventure. So we kind of settled into these very safe patterns, and there's a lot of things in our lives which are encouraged to help us do that. Everything from shopping habits to cultural messages through TV and news and stuff, and it's all about play it safe, be small, don't believe in yourself too much, have self-confidence and a unique sense of who you are, but within very strict kind of boundaries. Save your pension, make sure that you're paying your mortgage, make sure all these things are just kind of nicely ticked, and play it cool, play the long game, and just settle for whatever your life is. It's a real problem for us, and I'm going to explain the psychology behind that. You might already know the model I'm about to talk about. It's quite well known and quite popular within coaching and sort of modern psychology circles. So I'm going to talk about the comfort and risk zone model. So this is a model about how humans interact with risk and change, but it's a dynamic model, so it changes over time. So the way it's usually described is you've got these three concentric circles. The middle circle is your comfort zone. This is things that you are really comfortable with, you're really familiar with, you know all about. This is your home life. This is, if you've been doing your job for a while, this is your job. These are your close friends. These are the things that you do regularly. The defining factor is that you know it really well. You know how everything works in the comfort zone. It's like the psychological equivalent of a comfortable couch that you've been sitting in for years, and it's just sort of, it's adapted to you, and it's a really comfortable, lovely, soft place to be. The lie that our culture pushes is that this is the place to stay. This is where humans are meant to be, and if you just behave yourself and you don't rock the boat too much, then everything will be okay, because everything is provided for you in the comfort zone. Outside the comfort zone, there is this thing we call the risk zone. This is any time that you do something that's unfamiliar to you, where you've got to learn a new skill, where there's an opportunity for great success or great failure. There's a good chance you're going to screw something up in front of a bunch of people, and so it could be embarrassing and humiliating. It's where all new things are learned. Everything in the comfort zone, you know really well. As soon as you leave it and you're in risk, the point is that you don't know what you're doing. It's beyond anything that you currently are capable of doing. So it's a place of fear and a place of uncertainty. And it's a place of learning and adventure. We don't talk too much about the zone beyond that. Some people do. It's not a focus of my work. The third zone is called the panic zone. That's where you go so far into the unknown that it's overwhelming. So some people who are in overwhelm are spending their time in the panic zone. The dynamic part of this is that the comfort zone is constantly shrinking. So the things that you feel comfortable about, the things you feel confident doing, are reducing in number over time. So the longer you don't do something for, the more intimidating it feels to do that. And the longer you leave it without taking a new risk or an adventure or trying something new or meeting new people, the more intimidating those things begin to feel. So that's the model. You fight this contraction of your comfort zone, of your confidence, of your self-esteem, of your belief in what you're capable of. You fight against this constantly getting smaller by pushing out, by going into risk. Every time you take a trip out into risk, you do something new. Maybe you screw it up, maybe it goes really well, but either way you learn something. And when you come back to your comfort zone's expanded a little bit because those things you just learned to do are now part of your comfort zone because you now understand them, you know how they work. So that's the model. In order to have a healthy level of self-esteem, and in order to have constantly expanding confidence, you need to be traveling out into risk, doing new things, going on new adventures, meeting new people, going to new places, doing things that you know are frightening. You have to keep doing that. Otherwise, we all contract, we all diminish, and we all end up with these attitudes to life which are basically predicated on fear. Everything that isn't the known and the familiar becomes more and more frightening and intimidating over time. So that's the model. What you do with this, the first step is to recognize that, yes, there are frightening things in life that have value for you. So there are things beyond what you are currently capable of, which you currently believe that you can handle, which would be great for you. Maybe it's going to a new club, maybe it's trying a new hobby, maybe it's going for a promotion at work, maybe it's ditching your career and trying something completely different. Try and gauge. It can be useful to kind of write this out or draw it out. Try and draw out your 3 circles. Work out what's at the heart of your comfort zone, what's most kind of comfortable and nourishing, but also, the things that you've done for years, which can be, harmful stuff. People can be trapped in bad situations in their lives, and that can be in their comfort zone. Then try and work out what's on the border between your comfort zone and your risk zone. What's just into risk, just like a little step into the unknown and the intimidating. And then deeper and deeper, where do things go? Like where's the edge between risk and panic for you? What are the really big things that you would have to do? Would it be a total retraining of your career path? Would it be that enormous round the world trip that you've always wanted to go on? What is it? Where do these boundaries lie for you? So the first step is as ever, self-awareness, understanding, and exploration. Gather information. The next thing we begin to do is just to kind of set a few targets for ourselves. Okay, I'm going to go and do that thing. So you go out into risk. You are fully conscious of your fear while you're out there. You are fully conscious of the fact this is an intimidating thing for you to do. And then you return to comfort, and it's useful to kind of reward yourself and go, wow, I did that. Well done. That's really cool. And then keep doing it. Ideally, do this every day, but if not, just regularly take trips out into risk. Push that boundary out. Watch yourself doing it. And that is a major way that confidence and self-esteem grow. But beyond that, the thing that I'm really looking for to provide for my clients, the thing that my book talks about, the thing that I think is the end result of this understanding, is to build this into a way of life. So it's to really ditch a lot of these cultural stories that are about how safety is the most important thing, and if we're only cautious and don't rock the boat and just walk the narrow path, then everything's going to be okay. Really challenge that, throw it out, and replace it with an expectation and an excitement about adventure. One of my the 12 principles of deep coaching is that peace is only found in the storm. So it's not about waiting for everything to be okay, waiting for everything to be in the right place and for you to feel all right, and then taking little trips out into risk. That's a good place to start. We all have to start there. But ultimately, it's about embracing a life of adventure, going well beyond what most people think is normal and sensible and safe, and going, I will grow myself and I will move myself into a place of incredible self-confidence and capability, and I will find out really what I'm capable of in this life. in a way that most people never get to see, because I embrace a life of adventure. My life is about adventure. I look around me and I look for opportunities to have a new adventure. What's out there? What can I do now which is frightening and exciting and intimidating, and what I can learn from and grow from? And even if it isn't immediately obvious what you're going to get out of this, one thing you will always get out of this is an adventure, a story to tell other people, a new set of skills, and you'll watch yourself doing this, and your confidence will grow, and you'll become an interesting, different kind of person. And I wonder if you just think about that for a moment. Like, what would that person be like? How would they be different to who you are now? How would you see yourself that you don't see yourself as now? How would your friends and family start regarding you that they don't, currently see? What kind of things would you start doing if you had this kind of attitude of adventure that you don't currently do? It's remarkable. I've seen people achieve things that they absolutely never would have thought they're capable of. And it's all about just ditching the expectations, the self-image, the little stories, and just going, actually, I'm going to go out there and live my life as an adventure. Every moment of my life is an adventure. I'm going to experience life in every breath. And I'm going to live this life to its fullest. And when I'm older and I'm looking back at my life, I'm not going to have regrets about having played it safe and having missed opportunities, because I'm going to have done it. I'm going to have done it all. I'm going to embark on an adventure now, which is a gift to myself for the whole rest of my life. So I invite you to just start considering that. Draw out your comfort zone and your risk zone. Work out where things lie for you, where the potential is, and just begin playing with the idea of shifting your self-image, your idea of who you are, from someone who relatively plays it safe to being someone who's really alive, conscious, present, and out for adventure. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, click like, leave me a comment. That's always nice. It's nice to hear questions. What can I answer next? What would help you? A bit of feedback about what you thought of this video and how it went for you. And subscribe to my channel, because I publish stuff like this all the time, and I hope it's useful for you. Okay, cheers.